Okay, I think now is as good a time as any to discuss mods. And I'm not talking about mods to the game, I'm talking about mods as in these bad boys here. So just by going about and killing things, you're going to find a fair few of these. But you can also buy them here at the shop or on Marketplace. Shop will only have tier 2 mods, but you can get an idea of what is actually available. But an even better way to do so, and to get the mods that you truly desire, the really good ones, is to visit the crafting bench, or any crafting bench really, and right click. Alternatively, if you're someone who likes commands, you can always do /craft and it will bring up the same menu, and then you can click on mods. Just before I get into that though, how do you actually use them? Well, just like with scrap, you can simply click and have it on your cursor, and just take a note of what this mod actually is. So you can see there's a little symbol. So this is for chest plate, and these ones are both for weapons. So if I want to have this pure damage on my sword, I'm just going to simply click, put it on, and then I can click it, and now it has pure damage. There are a couple types of mods as well. So you'll see that the one that I just applied is an enchantment. It has red writing, and these ones are attachments, okay? So with all of these weapons or armors, there is only ever going to be one enchantment slot that can be used at a time. If you happen to have something on here already, you can put a new one on and it will overwrite it. But with attachments, you're going to have multiple slots. Depending on the tier, this will vary. So this stone scythe only has 2, but this diamond sword has 3. So that number of attachment slots will change depending on the tier. And you can put attachments like so with enchantments. If you happen to not want to overwrite a mod that's on there, say that you've got a really good one or something I really spent some money on and I don't want to lose it, you can remove mods. So you would just want to visit this anvil over here, you'll put it in, and you're going to use this remove mods option, and it will separate all of them, all the enchantments and attachments from that weapon. So at the moment, because it's tier 4, it just costs gold. This is quite cheap. From tier 5, I believe, onwards, it's going to start costing gems, and it gets quite pricey. So a good habit to make is to think about the mods that you're putting on your weapons or armors before you actually go about doing it, making sure that you are confident with your choice. Because if you change your mind with later tiers, it's going to be a little bit costly for you. So keep that in mind. But quickly, just onto how to actually go about crafting these. And this crafting table is going to be used for also crafting weapons and armor, which I will go into in the next video. But for now, we're going to focus on mods because they're a lot simpler. So say that I want to craft an enchantment for this chest plate here. So all I'm going to do is, I've got some options. I'm going to click this, and I can see lots of options. Okay, so there's 4 different enchantments for chest plates you can see here, and they vary with tier. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 as well. So in order to craft these, you're going to need some resources. So if I click them, I can see what's actually required. Now, by scrapping mods that I've found in the wild or wherever, I can get empty mods for that tier. So I can quickly show you that as well. So if you salvage, so if I put a mod in here and just click OK, same thing like we did with items, you're going to get these empty mods. That's how you get them. And then those can be used to craft, well, this is for tier 4. So say I want revenge, what is this, tier 4? This is what it's going to cost for. This is a random roll between the values, the tier 4 values, 21 to 25, 25 being max and 21 being the lowest for tier 4. Now, if I happen to not really care about the resources, because this is not all that expensive, and I really want to just get max off of the bat, this is how you can do it. You've got this little toggle maxed mods option here that you can simply click. And as you can see now, it is only showing the max values, but it is also going to be a little bit more dear. So if I click that, you'll see that the price is now increased. Another thing that I should probably mention, and the reason that I have chosen Revenge, there's a reason for that. A lot of players, when they start, they don't realize the power that Revenge has, and that is because, for some reason, it's not really specified. over here, you'll see the description for Revenge. Says it deals pure damage back to your killer when you die. Now, this is what it does in PvP. However, it has a secret little ability, and that is it kind of works like a totem of undying. And if you happen to die in PvE, this will not save you in PvP, but anywhere in the world, in a boss, fighting monsters, whatever, as long as you're not engaged in combat, it will save you with half a heart. So you can get a second chance to redeem yourself. If you're quick with a splash pot or you've got a potion going, you might be able to save that run. So I would highly recommend. Revenge is a fantastic enchantment to have when you're going about doing your fighting monsters, bosses, whatever. These other ones are also somewhat useful, but I would definitely recommend Revenge. That this is the only one that doesn't have something that is outlined just purely in the description, so that's why I'm mentioning this one specifically. But yeah, also just to note, you might think, okay, well, if it's going to save you with half a heart anyway, what's the difference between the values anyway? Shouldn't I just put a tier 2 on? Well, actually, the 30 damage or 35 also will, the higher this number is, it's going to reduce the time it takes to recharge that chance to save your life. So bigger the number, the better still. So another thing to think about. But I think that's all I really need to say about mods, other than, actually, I will mention one other thing. If you happen to do the boss called Crystal Avatar, you will get a chance to drop unique mods. Now, these ones will be for your weapons. You can also get within corrupted zones. I'm going to go a bit more into that later. You'll be able to get armor mods, unique armor mods. Now, what these ones do is they're not going to be your average attachments. I believe in the guild bank there should be a couple. I'm hoping. Here we go. We've got some examples here. Now, these ones are some max ones you can have a look at, but these ones will affect your abilities. So they're still going to take up an attachment slot, but they are going to give you a little bit extra. So for example, if I was to put this on my whip, every time that I use chain, it's going to do extra knockback. And when I say extra knockback, it's significant. It is quite noticeable. So these are very, very useful. And another thing is, well, this one here is very sought after. This is not max, however, but Lifesteal for power is incredible and everyone seems to want it. It works exactly as you would think for when you are dealing damage to whatever monster or even a player that you're fighting. You're going to heal for some of that damage. And it is quite brilliant for keeping you alive. A lot of people who want to do bosses faster with slightly more risk opt for this approach because it is quite fun. So I think I'm going to leave it there. I might go a little bit more into that later, but for now, that's all that you need to know about mods. I actually just remembered a couple more things I want to quickly add because they are quite important. With the unique mods for armor, currently there only exist ones for power and tank. There are none that exist for hybrid, keep that in mind. There are 3 different ones for power and 3 different ones for tank. Damage block for tank seems to be the one that is most used, and lifesteal is the most used for power. Also, just with these unique ones, remember you can only ever have one of these on a weapon or an armor at a time. You cannot have, for example, chain, extra knockback, and then also another one that is similar for whip is rapid fire plus X amount of damage. You cannot have both. It's one or the other, so you'll need to make a choice there. And the very last thing that I want to say is that with some of the mod crafting, it is not going to ask you for runic dust. If it's a little bit more expensive, it is going to ask you for something called runic energy. Now, all runic energy is a representation of an entire stack, okay? That's all it is. In order to get runic energy, if you've collected 64 of these, you can shift right click, you put it in here, click this, and oh my goodness, you've converted it to runic energy. You, however, cannot put runic energy back and convert it back into the raw dust itself. So convert it as much as you need, but keep in mind you can only do it one direction.